Okay, hello everyone. Happy Monday. It is the last Monday of the month. I can't believe it's the end of August. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited for back to school. I don't know about you, but 1 week till back to school. I'm of course soaking it up with my kids and everything like that. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to routine. I'm looking forward to structure, to, just filling my cup up a little bit too, and for them to be back at school with their friends and stuff. So I am really excited to have our guest speaker tonight. I couldn't think of anyone better than Erin Charleton because I was like, this is how we want to end the month because she is someone I look up to in so many ways. I've gotten to know Erin over the course of, I want to say a few years now, 2 or 3 years, and she is so inclusive. She's so inviting. Doesn't matter whose team you're on, she's willing to share ideas, to help out, to, just pour belief into you. And I think that's truly what Arbonne is about being like one and whole and coming together and helping each other out. She recently promoted to regional vice president. I want to say as July 1st, I believe was the official date, which I know this has been like a long time coming. She's been a region for a long time. The title just hasn't caught up with her. And she just had her Benz bash. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it, but I was like living vicariously through all the pictures and videos. And it's just such an incredible time to honor her and all her hard work that she's gotten to this point. So I asked her to share tonight. I don't know if she's going to share a bit of a story. Maybe you've heard it before, but maybe you'll hear something different or you'll take away something different. Or sometimes we hear the same thing over and over again and someone says it in a different way and we're like, oh, it's that aha moment. So anyways, without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Erin. And yeah, thank you so much for being our guest speaker tonight.
Thanks for asking me. It's always such an honor to be asked to share because you guys are all taking time out of your day, your lives, time with your kids, whatever else you're doing to be poured into. So I hope you do walk away with some value and some aha moments tonight. I am going to share a little bit about my story, but kind of in a different light. So when I typically share my story, it's all about mostly my personal life. And if you've heard it before, like it's a big, long, juicy story with lots of highs and lots of lows. And to be honest, that's actually no different than my journey through this business. And I think a lot of the times we see people who are promoting and like who are getting the car and doing all the things, and we assume that it was like easy. Like somehow it was just easy for them and it's only hard for me. And that I will tell you is just not the case. So if you want a dose of reality and a realistic view of what it looks like to rise to the top of this company, this is going to absolutely be for you. So when I started my business, it was back in April 2019, and I started not because I was looking for Arbonne. I didn't even know what Arbonne was. I probably pronounced it incredibly wrong as well at the beginning. But I was looking for something because my background is medical. I'm a cardiac physiologist, but in the couple years before I was introduced to Arbonne, I was working for a medical device company, and I got a taste of like what kind of money a sales role could give you. And I created this lifestyle that was like, to be honest, pretty lavish. And I ended up having twins. And when the twins were born, I had a huge shift. And I went from the girl who would never, ever, 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 ever leave my job to I can't go back to work. I can't leave, I can't leave my kids. And so, fortunately, I was in the position that that was a viable option for me. But I also needed something for myself. You know, we went through the first kind of 16 months of being at home with the kids, which was incredible and such a blessing. And then I got to a point where I was like, oh, I was actually someone before I had these babies as well. And like, I miss her and I need her and I need to create somehow something for myself to work towards and like goals and like just something just that was just for me. So I was thinking about all these different businesses that I could start. I literally planned 3 weddings for my friends because I thought being a wedding planner would be like so much fun. And while it was a lot of fun, I think it would be very different dealing with brides who are not your friends and like who you, it just like, it was too much. So I was like, I'll start a cafe. I'll do all these things. Obviously, none of it was going to be viable because it all required one, a huge investment, and two, a lot of time away from the house, which is the opposite of what I wanted. So when I randomly got an email from my sister's friend about a business that she wanted to expand into Australia. I thought, well, sure, tell me about it. Like, beggars can't be choosers, and the most expensive thing you can have is a closed mind. So I'll have a listen to what you're doing. And so she told me, and I did not know it was network marketing. I didn't even really know what network marketing was. Like I knew that it was something that people like a product that people sold typically, but I had no idea like exactly how it worked. In the history, someone had approached me about another company was also nutrition based. And when I took a look at the compensation plan, I honestly said, I don't think that this is for me because I couldn't understand how you actually made money. Like it was so complicated. And then when I looked at this, I was like, oh, this seems very simple. You sell a product, earn a commission, sell more products, earn more commission. And so I decided after a couple weeks of deliberation and like asking her all the questions that I would jump in and I would see for myself what these products could do. So I did that. And I absolutely fell in love with the nutrition line. And I felt such a change within myself that I decided I needed to share this with everyone. We promoted to district in 6 weeks, which is not typical. To see what is, please go to earnings.arbonne.com. But at that point, I had caught a vision of what was possible, and I had hit some pretty big goals. And I thought, like, this is going to be easy. Like, we're going straight to the top. District in 6 weeks, like, by the end of the year, I'll be a nation. And so I was just like running on all cylinders. And unfortunately for us, if you know my whole story, I came home one day and found out that my now ex-husband lost all of our money and everything in our life changed. And over the course of the 6 weeks after that, we ended up selling everything in our house to pay for flights to move back to Canada, and we literally started fresh. So, what most people don't know about this part of the story is what actually that looked like in terms of my business. Because you can imagine in your personal life becoming a solo parent instantly, pretty much, with literally nothing to move forward with apart from family support. Um, that was one whole part of it. But the other part of me was like, it's going to be okay. Like, this is really bad, and I am very upset, but it's actually going to be okay because I have a business that I know if I put my work and my work ethic and just decide to never give up, just decide to never give up, who knows how long it will take, but eventually I can completely change our lives, especially at that point. I thought that before when we had this like really luxurious lifestyle. And then when I had nothing, I knew that it was going to be okay because I could control the outcome. And that's what I decided to do in this business. And so when I came back to Canada, I went back to work. I was working for Johnson and Johnson selling medical devices, and I worked Arbonne alongside. And it was like a revolving door for the next 12 months. They would come and they would go and they would come and they would go and they would come and they would show so much potential. And like I would fall in love with the potential, and then they would go and I'd be heartbroken. But the one thing that I never stopped doing throughout that was working on my own personal business because I knew that I had to lead by example. I also didn't want to be in a position where I sponsored someone who outworked me. Like that's always the goal is you want to sponsor someone who's like way better than you, works way harder and like teaches you all the things. But I'm also a very competitive person and I didn't want anybody to be outworking me and I wanted to have that recognition from like Arbonne from my upline or whatever, that I was doing a really good job because I knew that if I continued to do a really good job, it was only a matter of time until I came across other people who were going to be exactly like me. And so this revolving door kept going and going and going and going and going. And after promoting to district in 6 weeks, I just thought, like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can we not get to area? But after another, so it was about 13 months in total. We promoted to area manager, and I like was like, that's it. We're going nation by the end of the year. Like it's gonna be a walk in the park. I got over this hump. Like they talk about how people always have a level in this business where they get stuck. And it's usually because this is like the biggest hump of your leadership that you need to overcome. And I for sure thought that it was that. Like as soon as we broke through to area, like it was going to be smooth sailing. So I promoted to area, and at that point, I had three district managers on my team and like a boatload of consultants. And as soon as we promoted, basically everybody quit. And I was like, okay, this is not the plan. This is not the plan. But I'm not going to lose it. I am going to work my tail off, and I know that there are more people out there if I continue to be the best person on my team. And how could anybody who's wavering in their belief of what they can create in this business and decide to step away or walk away or whatever that specific situation is, how could they ever see what they missed out on if I decided to stop? So we promoted to area. At that point, I was replacing my income from my job. I decided to quit my job, and like the world was all shut down. We were in lockdowns, all the things were happening. As a family, because me and my kids moved in with my parents, as a family, we decided that we were going to get out of Vancouver and move to the island, which we did. And I'm like, okay, I have just quit my job and everybody has quit on me. So what are we doing here? And what we did was we continued. And there was, I think, maybe 3 months where I didn't hit my maintenance as an area manager. But at that point in season of business, I really saw what I was capable of. And so when I see people who are pushing for goals and they're like, we're like 5,000 QV away, my first question is, how much is your CQV? Because if you really put yourself in a position where your back is up against a wall and you have no other choice, you will always find a way. And if you don't, you've decided not to. Like, and neither is good or bad. It is just the fact that if you do or you don't, you have made the decision to go either way. And so we rebuilt. We rebuilt, and that following fall we went into Region Qual. It was Black Friday, like it was crazy. It was so crazy. It did not make sense. But I'm like, we're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it. We will go into Region Qual, and the next month, everybody quit. Everyone walked away. Like, how does that even happen? I can't even tell you. But what I do know is that you can never be surprised with people, right? So as much as we had everything going on and people were firing at all cylinders, they had not built the tenacity and like the endurance muscle that I had in this business, where I knew I could go back to back months with having big volume because I had fostered every single month being the best person on my team. They pulled something out of you know where, and like then they got scared and they got tired. So we just continued. We continued to rebuild. It was a massive learning curve for me, and how to be a leader and how to draw people back in and be okay with meeting people with where they were. And that's like, the biggest thing. I think we all want to sponsor ACEs. And hopefully you have one or two or 10 in your business. But if you don't, that is okay because the collective still comes together, and meeting people where they're at, keeping people around the fire, as they say, is one of the biggest skills that you can create as a leader. Because if you're too committed to someone's potential and they don't see that for themselves, they will walk away because they are scared about what their potential is. It's an onion, you got to take it off, peel, or what am I saying? Layer by layer by layer. You got to peel back that onion. And if you can tap into that to be able to connect with someone and be able to paint a vision about where they are at, a vision that they could see realistically for themselves at that point, that is the magic point of your leadership, and people will never leave you because they are drawn in to a vision that they can see for themselves. Your vision has to be big enough to fit everybody in, but you have to be able to tap into where they are at. So we just continued month after month after month, earning AIT trips and earning all these things. You think you earn these things, and then people are just going to fall from the sky like, sign me up for this business. And unfortunately, that's just not how it works. But every single time you achieve something, you prove to yourself that you are capable of doing this. And you also grow this non-stop case of evidence that this business works if you work. And if you don't, you're not going to have that evidence. But I can turn around and someone's going to tell me that this is a pyramid scheme or whatever. And like, there's no way that they're winning that conversation because I am so certain through achieving all of these things and constantly earning my bonus and earning AIT and earning the incentives that Arbonne puts out for you. Like those things are strategic, yes, to grow your business, but they are strategic to also grow you because your ability to grow that mindset and create those connections that you go out to achieve something and you actually do it, that is the biggest benefit of building this business because without that belief, you won't ever go and achieve the things that you really want. So we did promote. We got over that hump. We went back into Region Qual and we promoted as of July 1st. And there are 6 tips that I'm going to give you when you're looking to level up your business. And this is applicable to anywhere you are, but specifically if you are pushing to go from area to region. And number 1 is vision. It is the cheapest thing. It costs you nothing to have a vision and to tap into that vision every single day. And I don't mean like, I'm just going to sit here and talk about what it is that my biggest, wildest dreams are. I'm talking about actually submerging yourself in what it feels like and embodying where you are, what you're feeling, and who you're with in that moment. And this is something that if you have played sports at a high level in your life, you absolutely would have already done this. Like I played really high level basketball growing up, and every time I got to that foul line, I'm closing my eyes. I can see the ball going in the hoop before it even leaves my hands. And doing that in your business is the biggest advantage that you can have when you are pushing because if you have a strong vision, nothing will crack you. Nothing will break you and nothing will shake you. So every day closing your eyes and envisioning whatever it is that your next goal is. Is it crossing the stage? Is it having someone shout you out on your team chat or on Instagram or opening up your mailbox and seeing a gift from your VP about your achievements? Is it earning AIT and getting off the plane and feeling that whoosh of humid air because you're in the tropics and you see this person holding an Arbonne sign and all of a sudden you feel like you are the freaking Arbonne queen because they have signs and they're going to take you around and like everything is laid out for you. Whatever it is, close your eyes and think about that. And who are you taking? What are you wearing? Where are you shopping for your attire for Vegas or for AIT or for leadership school? Or, when you get asked to speak as a trainer, what are you wearing? All of these things, whatever it is that you have on your vision board, make the board because that's important, but replay the board in your mind every single day. You can literally take 30 seconds, and that is enough to make an imprint on your mind because your brain will move towards whatever it is the most familiar with. And maybe you live, I don't know, in the armpit of Canada. Like, pick your place. Maybe you live in a place where you like have never seen that type of money. Maybe you've never been to a tropical place. Maybe you just have never known anyone to make $22,000 per month. That's not familiar to you. So the only way to make it familiar is to close your eyes and see it. Because if you can dream it and you can see it, you will eventually be it if you stay consistent on those things. Number two is be the thermostat. Be unbothered. It is so easy to be affected by what is going on around you and in your own life. But you need to create this ability to compartmentalize a little bit and be the thermostat in your business. So if someone is throwing hate at you, if you feel like your world is falling apart for whatever reason, if someone says no, if someone says the protein is shit, I do not want this anymore, like, ugh, disgusting. If whatever it is, you need to be the thermostat and be unbothered because that one person or that one incident or that one whatever the thing is on the timeline of your life and your business, it represents like a tiny little dot. It is not, no one thing is going to take you out. And if you're experiencing a time in your life like I have, where I went through a divorce, I went through bankruptcy, I went through losing my dad, I went through all of these big, huge life things. It's so easy to put this business down because no one is holding you accountable. We hold ourselves accountable. And when other things seem really big, we can press this to be really small. But really, what we need to do is we need to lean into this because this is the business that allows you to feel powerful. This is the business that allows you to have control. And this is the business that you are going to be surrounded by people who are going to pour into you, reminding you exactly of who you are, what you're capable of, and where you are going. And if you decide to walk away from that or shut it down a little bit, all of this other noise that's happening is only going to get worse. And obviously, like, there are times where we do need to take a breath. We do need to maybe not be in as much activity, but you need to remain consistent in whatever level that is because a ball in motion will always stay in motion. And if you let it drop, it is much harder to pick it up, but mostly to pick yourself up. Because as soon as you drop it, all of those trained stories from when you were little about like Sheila down the street telling you that you can't play that game. Now all of a sudden you can't play the game. You can't play the game of Arbonne. Like you can't do all these things. Our mind goes crazy. And so staying in touch with this community and all of the resources that we have to be inspired, to feed off of motivation, to be reminded of what's possible. It is so incredibly important. And the more you go on, it is a muscle that will build. It is a rubber butt. And maybe your bum is very small, but you're going to grow a peach. And it's just going to like, we're bouncing back up, like someone knocks you down, you're right back up. And it is okay to be upset. It is okay to take the moment, but like, do not sit there because how is that serving you? Like you can sit there and you can be in like have a huge pity party, but cap yourself. Like maybe you cap yourself at 30 seconds, maybe you cap yourself at 3 hours. I don't know. But cap yourself and do something that is going to increase your vibration. Because if you're walking around the world feeling all low and sorry for yourself, there are literally $1 million opportunities and people that are passing you by. And someone else is going to ask them, someone else is going to give them a fist stick, someone else is going to sponsor them, and someone else is going to promote them. You need to actively be doing things to keep yourself excited and high on life. Like in whatever way you have to do that. Drink a lot of fizz because that will help you. It actually does clinically proven to improve your mood. But constantly be working to build that muscle. And the moment that you can have the awareness that you're getting into that low point and then you do something, you've already won the game. And then it's just about building and building and building. And the more you do it, the quicker it becomes to bounce back. Number three, if you are expecting and needing, you are in a very low vibration and you're going to end up repulsing. It's a big word, repulse. You're going to repulse people. You're going to push people away because that is not a warm, inviting, exciting vibration to be in. And you can tell in your own life, like people around you who need something, like they are desperate. And you can feel desperate, like you can be in a position where your back is up against the wall and you are desperate to make this work. But how you present yourself and how you exude energy to the world can be warm and inviting and excited, even though in here you're like, we have to find a way. Number four is create momentum by doing. So I said that I always want to be the best person on my team. There is not a month since I promoted to district manager that I have ever not earned my district manager bonus. And that I think is something to be extremely proud of because that is a reflection of what you are doing. Because you can be a district by yourself. You can maintain a district by yourself, and you can earn your district bonus by yourself because you are in activity. And that activity can be a plethora of different things depending on how you like to run your business. But if that is not your bar for yourself, I would challenge you to make that the bar for yourself. If you're not yet a district, then be the best person on your team. Earn your IC bonus until you become a district. And then when you become a district, your next goal, as fast as you can, is to earn that district bonus. And then that's it. That's your new expectation. That's your new normal. Maybe not every month it's you personally because you're active, you're sponsoring people, you're helping people enroll and launch, and they're contributing to that bonus. But without a shadow of a doubt, you are going to be earning that extra money every single month. When you get to area and you get to region and nation, those bonuses become a lot more collective, right? It's a goal that a lot of people have to contribute to, but that district bonus you can earn every single month by yourself and being in that momentum, because in order to do that you have to be in activity. And the best way to motivate your team is to show them that you're working, is to show them what's possible. I personally, my sponsor no longer does the business. Her sponsor no longer does the business. The MVP that I had when I started my business is no longer here. I have rolled up to another wonderful woman, but that wonderful woman does not work her business. And, she should, but she doesn't. And that is unfortunately the reality for a lot of people. But I can tell you that the momentum that we are having is because of me and not because of her. And you can see that across the rest of her nation because she is not working, no one else is. Number five, pivot in directions that excite you and don't wait for systems to be created. So if you're feeling like some kind of way about what Arbonne has on, or the, 30 days to healthy living, or the 7-day reset if you're in the States, or whatever it is, what excites you? What are you interested in? Create a challenge, a program, an offering around that because your excitement is going to transfer to people. And if it's an area of like, my team is all about macros right now. Okay. So I have a background in macros and I can teach that to my team. If you don't have a background in macros, you can still do this because we have a little thing called the internet and AI. And you ask anything into ChatGPT, you can learn how to be a heart surgeon. There's nothing that you can't go and learn. So if you want to offer something and you feel like I don't know how to do that, no one cares what your credentials are. No one cares. They just want someone to tell them what to do. So go and research, go and learn, and then regurgitate that information to someone else. Create an offering because that's going to offer so much value for people. Create an offering that you are excited. And like that's another level of skill and value that you can give to your team and your clients, which is going to only increase their know, like, and trust factor with you. And they are going to constantly see you as an expert. Even though maybe you studied fabric, I don't know, like maybe you studied textiles, or maybe you didn't go and maybe you didn't even finish high school. You can still teach yourself something. You can still obtain information and you can still say, this is what I've learned. In order to be successful, you only need to know 1% more than anybody else. If you keep on top of it and you're constantly learning, you're growing yourself as a person, you're growing yourself as a leader, and you're putting yourself in a place where you're becoming the expert. And that will be invaluable to you moving forward in your business as it expands and grows. And the last one, I know we're a little bit over time here, is please pretend that you walk around this world with a crown on your head and you are the queen of Arbonne. Maybe for you, that's someone like Cecilia Stoll or Debbie Neal or and anybody. It could be anybody. Anyone who you look up to and you're like, oh, I would literally die to have her paycheck. Pretend that you are her. Wear the crown like you are Cecilia Stoll. How would she walk around and how would she enter the room? How would she speak to people about what she does? How would she offer people to look at the business? How would she recommend a product? How would she look at someone when they tell her that this is a scam or like, oh, those things don't even work? Like, what is your facial expression doing? Imagine you are her and never, ever, ever, ever let your crown fall down because the moment you do, you let them win. And our goal is to walk around this world and give people a new experience and a new education about what this business, this industry, but specifically what this company can offer people because it is by far like nothing else out there. And that's it. Keep your crown on.
Amazing. I love you so much and I love that training. And I just want to say how like resilient you are in all areas of your life. Like no matter what has been thrown at you, you have always persevered and you're always so positive. So I just wish I could be like you when I grow up, Erin, because you're just such a like bright light. And thank you so much because I'm jacked. Like I feel like you just spoke to me. So I hope that you guys got something out of this because I feel like I just wrote so many things down and so many tips and it was exactly what I needed to hear tonight. So thank you so much for taking the time to share with us. You're absolutely amazing. And if you guys don't follow Erin, go follow her on social. Maybe I'll share your handle in our team chat if that's okay. So you can
Perfect.
follow along with all her highs and lows of life and new tires on her Benz and
Oh my God.
all
Like,
her
what are the chances? What
right?
are the chances?
All her renovations and who knows, maybe she's going to buy a new house. I don't know what's happening in her world because she shares so much and she shares us so authentically. And I think that's so amazing that we can do that and just sprinkle Arbonne in and no matter what, just stay the course. Like Erin said, that it'll always happen for you if you just stay consistent and just be the best person on your team. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. My kids are just hopping in the house right now, but I just want to say thank you again so much, Erin. And let's go rock out the rest of this week and end August with a bang. And I'm so excited to get back into some routine. So thank you
Yeah.
again. And I hope everyone has a good night.
Bye.
Bye.